Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique together. I want to welcome you to the Hub. Again, we have the opportunity to talk, to discuss, using radio and social media to connect. And when I say we have the opportunity to discuss, you may be in the company of friends. And as I deliberate, it may spark a conversation in your own little space. What we seek to do is empower, enlighten, educate, make you know more so you can make the right decision daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And definitely when the election time comes around. I want to start off by playing a piece from the lighting at Progress Park. You know, Progress Park was lit last evening.
Before we turn on the lights, it is my distinct honor to introduce a leader whose vision, dedication, and passion for the development of our nation continue to inspire us. Since assuming office, he has championed transformative policies in education, youth empowerment, sports, and national development. His commitment to creating opportunities for our young people and fostering a culture of excellence is evident in every single initiative he puts his hand on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the podium the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada.
Love you too. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you on the lovely moonlit night in Progress Park. I hope you've turned around and admired the moon before we switch the lights on. Permit me to recognize our distinguished colleagues from the Cabinet and from Parliament who are here with us tonight, and in particular, those from Big Parish, St. Andrew. It is a wonderful sight to see each and every one of you here tonight. We cut the ribbon for the reopening of the playpen, and there are hundreds of kids over there, and you can see the delight on their faces, and you can see them all being active and sweating. And that is what we want to get them. We want to get them active, we want to get them sweating, we want to get them energetic, and we want them in a safe space where the kids, the parents, the grandparents can all play, exercise, and come together. And this is what this event tonight is about. We are not here just to switch on the lights. I couldn't say it better than Mr. Andal. We are here to take Progress Park out of the darkness. We are here to light up opportunity. We are here to light up possibility. And we are lighting up a space where our children can grow, our teams, our sporting teams, our community teams can thrive, and our community can come together just as we are coming together tonight. And we are coming together long after the sun goes down. So for many years, many decades, this playing field has been a place of memories, from friendly matches to social and community engagements, family picnics, school sports days, and late afternoon games that always ended too soon because of the darkness. But with this new lights, we are giving our community, our children, our sports club, our sports players, our coaches, their supporters, their sponsors, more time to play, more time to connect, more time to exercise, more time together, and more time to build our community. This project has been a collaboration of teamwork, and you've heard it from Senator David Andrew, and you've heard it from MP Delma Thomas. It is teamwork, and so just like the games which require a team to play it here, it took the vision of everyone, the Ministry of Sports, the contractor, the National Lotteries Authority, the Ministry of Infrastructure, Grenlec, and others to ensure that this event was a success and was a success in record time. And so tonight we are demonstrating that dreams can become a reality. And in the words of the National Lottery Authority, making your dreams come true. And these are good and positive dreams. So let us remember, this is not just about a playing field. It is not just about sports. It's about creating safe spaces. And I want to emphasize, particularly between the periods when it's dark, 6 to 9, safe spaces for young men and women or kids, their parents, their grandparents to come together to make sure that our young people, or not so young, or middle-aged, and our senior citizens can come together to be active, to be engaged, and to be inspired. It's about giving all of the famous teams from St. Andrew an opportunity to ensure that they are treated equally with the teams in other parishes that already have lights at their playing fields. And it is about building pride in our rural community. Too often we seem to think that St. Andrew or St. Mark or St. John or St. Patrick deserves less. They do not. They deserve just as much, the same quality, the same resources as the rest of Grenada Carriacou and PT Martinique. So whether you are here as a player, a coach, a parent, a supporter, a sponsor, or just a big mouth, who loves Progress Park, who loves St. Andrew, and who wants to see our schools in St. Andrew, the clubs in St. Andrew do better, be better, and go up and up and up. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Thank you very much for supporting this initiative. And remember, it is about building our communities together. I want to invite all of the members of the cabinet and the government, all of those who spoke, who didn't speak, everybody under the tent to come and join me on stage. Let us do the countdown.
Joshua Andel, Oscar Andel, we'd like to invite you up as well. Afi Fletcher, no hiding.
Well, you can come closer to the stage if you can't come on the stage. Are you ready? Are you sure? All right, well, let someone else hold the mic. Progress, progress. Progress, progress. All right, so we ready? We are ready? 5, 4. Oh, hold on. They say they want 10. They say they want 10. They want them. All right, let's go. 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Progress bar! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and let the games begin.
Right, so folks, that was our beloved Prime Minister last night at Progress Pack. That playing field was lit and they had a friendly match played, and quite a number of people in Big Parish and in neighboring parishes attended and they enjoyed it to the fullest. This is wonderful. I want to now play a piece from our beloved Prime Minister from the launch of the laptops and ebooks program to the students today. They launched that program and they handed out hundreds and hundreds of laptops to the students in various schools. So a number of laptops were given out to the students and ebooks.
J.W. Fletcher Catholic
I
Secondary
think
School.
it's they're focused on forms 1 and 2 for now, and then they would move to forms 3 and 4. So they would cover all the schools, which is really, really good. So
McDonald College.
very soon, all the schools and all the students will be using their laptops and ebooks. So there wouldn't be any need to carry this backpack with a whole pile of books and so on. So this is great.
Presentation Brothers
Wonderful.
College.
So they're accepting on behalf of their school. So all the schools are receiving for forms 1 and for forms 2. So don't matter how many forms they have, all the students will get a laptop computer or ebook. So I don't know if the
St.
ebooks
Andrews
are for
Anglican
forms 1
Secondary School.
and the laptops are for form 2. But this is great. This is a huge investment in the education of our young people. This government cares about youth. They care about education,
St. David's
they
Catholic
care about our
School.
young people, and they're investing bigly in that area, in them, to make sure that the future is brighter for all of us. So all the schools, so I think it's forms 1 and 2, they're
St.
partnering
John's
in.
Christian Secondary School.
So they're collecting their laptops, they're collecting their ebooks. That's the way to go. Thumbs up to the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and the NDC administration. That's the way to go.
St. Joseph's Convent, Grenville.
Things that we are seeing now, we have not seen them in the past under the NNP administration. In fact, coming close to the election, the NNP tried something, but that whole laptop drive proved to be
St.
one
Joseph's
without
Convent, St.
proper
George.
planning, because when a laptop or a tablet, not laptop, sorry, a tablet, go bad, they couldn't repair them, right? I think it came from somewhere in Korea, South Korea, somewhere there, and they just couldn't. It's like I think it was like a black market thing where somebody when there are
St. Mark's Secondary School.
but this time we're using Dell, we're using established companies, and if there's a need for any repairs, it can be done. That's the way to go. That's the way.
St.
to go.
Rose Modern Secondary School.
St. Rose Modern Secondary School. So all the schools in the nation receiving for Forms 1 and the Forms 2. This is serious. This is
Wesley
significant.
College Secondary School.
Wesley College. All right. So for those online, you're seeing the students receiving their laptop or the ebook. This is brilliant. This is excellent, excellent, excellent.
And Wester Hall Secondary
And
School.
Wester Hall Secondary School. So they gave a number of the other schools already. I just decided to cut it right there, show you that they're receiving the tablets or the ebooks. So that's from Dell. This is a huge, huge investment. And then they move to
Thank you, Honorable
Form 3
Deacon Mitchell. We invite you to remain
and Form
so that you
4
can
out.
deliver your remarks and give the charge to the students. Thank you, Honorable David Andrew. Thank you, students.
Right, so the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. All right. So he will speak momentarily. He will speak. So we are awaiting the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Thing they're making sure that the mic is functioning. All right. So we are waiting his
Protocol. My job is really to give the charge to the students, but I, before doing so, want to ask again for a round of applause for the wonderful talent of Golan and Kedim that we saw on display this morning. I saw Minister Williams crying while Kedim was singing, and I looked at a number of persons behind me who were nodding along or wishing they had the talent that was on display. That includes me, by the way. So to both Golan and Kedim, you've represented the students exceptionally well this morning. You've represented yourself very well, and your school, your family, your community should be very proud of you. And I look forward to both of you one day doing a duo together. I don't know if you've met each other before, but know that we have one who can sing and one who can play the violin. I hope that the Minister of Education and his team will hasten to ensure that the Arts Festival and the Music Festival and those things come back on stream so that we can see the talent and the promise that Grenada Future had on display this morning. I want to commend the Ministry of Education and all who are responsible for ensuring that we are here this morning and that the students have the opportunity to be part of this ceremonial handover of the laptops and ebooks. And the theme, reimagining education, transforming classrooms, and empowering futures, should not just be for this ceremonial handover, but really should be the mantra for the transformation that has to occur in education if we are going to ensure that this generation of school children and those who follow behind them get an opportunity to ensure that they can have a bright future, that they can continue to build Grenada, to make it resilient, to make it successful, and to make themselves successful global citizens. It doesn't matter that we are a small country. In fact, it probably matters more that we are a small country, that we have to invest in our human capital. That is the only assurance we have of success. And so I will be unapologetic about championing education. I can assure you, students, that every adult who sits in this room, who you think is successful, or who is successful, or who pretends that they are successful, can only claim so because of the education they had. That is all Grenada has to offer. That is all we have to offer, and that is all we need to ensure occurs to guarantee your success and to guarantee the success of Grenada. And so last Saturday, not the one immediately, the one before that, when I stood at the United Nations as one of the 170 plus heads of government or heads of delegation who spoke at the UN General Assembly as it marked its 80th anniversary, it was not by accident that I chose not to speak on the usual topics of the day: war, geopolitical tensions, climate change, etc., but to devote my entire 22 to 25-minute speech on education. Because it is education that is going to give you, the students, a lifeline of opportunity, a lifeline to fulfill your promises, and a lifeline to success. And that success is not limited to Grenada. It is global success. We are part of the global community. And so the transformation that is taking place in our education system is designed to make you globally competitive. And I want you to, for a minute, understand the kind of profound and rapid changes that is taking place. I said to the Minister of Education, chalk and blackboards ought to become a thing of the past almost immediately. If you have 3,875 laptops in Form 1 and Form 2, then the teachers, the instructors themselves ought not to be walking in and reverting to a blackboard or chalk. It therefore means the teachers, the instructors themselves are going to have to be part of that transformation to ensure that this is successful, to ensure that this is sustainable. So the teachers and the instructors themselves, just like you students, are going to have to be undergoing a process of learning, a process of training, and a process of transformation. Think of your parent who may not ever have had the opportunity to have a computer at all or a laptop, who now has to help you navigate education online. Your parents as well, you have an opportunity to teach your parents and to bring them along and to give them the digital skills that your parents need to navigate the world. Because while we are focusing on you, the students, this morning, it is equally important for us to have adult digital literacy for our parents, for your parents, your guardians, to be able to function in a digital literate world. And it is not going to stop. If we don't make ourselves future ready, the world will simply run over us and leave us behind. So parents too need to use the opportunity to learn themselves how to become literate, how to navigate, how to grow, and how to succeed in a digital world if they are to partner with you students in making sure that you become successful over the next several years as well. But I want to emphasize what the Minister of Education said. This is not free. This is paid for by the taxpayers of the country. And the taxpayers are your parents, teachers, all those who work and contribute towards the economy of Grenada. All those who buy anything in Grenada pay some form of tax. There's VAT on most goods and services. And it is that VAT, it is the customs duties, it is the property tax, it is the income tax, it is our taxation base that gives the government revenue to do anything. So we are in a circular relationship. The citizens work and pay taxes to the government collects that taxes, and it has to be able to deliver services to the citizens. So your laptops and ebooks are not free. As the Minister of Education said, it's a combined cost of $9.2 million, EC dollars. That's approximately 3.45 million US dollars. And it's an investment in you, the students. It's not a gift. It's an investment in you. And when you invest in yourself, and when you work that investment, which is yourself, it will pay dividends 10, 15, 20, 1,000 times over. And that dividend is going to be your success as a student, your success as a teenager, and your success eventually as an adult. And that is how Grenada becomes successful. That is how we grow. I told my son once, who for once gave us a compliment after the 50th anniversary of the independence celebration. He said, for once we had done something exciting. And then he talked about the lack of entertainment and various things for young people in Grenada. I said to him, part of the reason for the lack of entertainment is because the income of our citizens need to get higher. Because the more income you have is the more you can spend on entertainment, is the more you can spend on what is called discretionary habits. But if you don't have a significant income, it means most of your money is going to go towards the basic needs of life. Housing or shelter, food, clothing, maybe transportation to actually get to and from work or to get to and from where you're going. And I explained to him how a person increases his or her income. It's not the government. The government can't increase your income. We can pass things like minimum wage, but that's minimum. What we want is maximum. And that means investing in yourself. And I gave him an example of myself. I told him when I left National College, I went back to Presentation College to teach. And my salary was $1,200. And I taught for 2 years. And then I took a loan for $60,000 to go to the University of the West Indies. I said, I remember telling someone, it's like, are you crazy? That amount of money to go and study? How are you going to pay it back? And I said, you could look at it two ways, $60,000 in debt, or you can look at it as an investment. So I studied law for 5 years, and I came back in 2002. And I said to him, and my salary then was $3,500. So I said, in 5 years, I made a $60,000 investment, and my salary tripled. But yes, I had the debt, no doubt. But I said, with the tripling of my salary, I could have financed the debt. I bought a vehicle, and I probably was living the way I lived as a teacher. And I said, 2 years later, I had an opportunity to buy the law firm. And yes, I borrowed, or the law firm owners financed it. The debt was $750,000. But I had the freedom after I bought the firm to pay myself anything. And I paid myself then $5,000. And 2 years later, I paid myself $10,000. And I said to him, in 3 years, I paid off the entire $750,000 with my partners. And thereafter, the firm had no debt. Because we bought the firm, and my disposable income went from $1,200 to $3,500 to $10,000 to stop counting after that. That is what investing in yourself does. And that is what education gives you the opportunity to do, to invest in yourself. So do not see this laptop as merely a device. It gives you access to the world. It gives you access to unlimited knowledge. But it also will force you to make choices and to make the right choices. Because as you saw in the demonstration, you are going to have to decide whether when it's study time, you decide to play. You are going to have to decide when it's play time, whether you decide to study. You are going to have to decide whether, with all of your brilliance, you bypass the rules, you bypass the restrictions, and you access sites that you should not access. Or whether you engage in online bullying or not. Or whether you take care of the laptop or not. As was emphasized, it is yours. When you own something, you are responsible for it. Not your parents, not your teachers, not the Ministry of Education. So it's an opportunity for you to learn additional responsibility, for you to learn to start owning and managing the assets that are given to you so that you could turn those assets into an investment, and that gives you a return in the form of profits or dividends. So when your principles of business or economics teacher is talking about the factors of production, capital, you have capital in your hand. You have the laptop, you have the access to education, and you have your brain, you have your imagination, you have your work ethic. That's the entrepreneurship. And I urge you to use it to make yourselves a success, to become successful young men and women, because that's the ultimate measure of the investment that we will make in you. And so now I conclude by reading the charge that I've been charged with reading by the Minister of Education. And it goes like this. When stars align, greatness follows. That song familiar? I will say it again. When stars align, greatness follows. And your journey begins today. Each of you students you are being entrusted with a powerful tool, your very own computer and access to ebooks. It is not a gift, it is an investment in you. It is also a responsibility. The government and the Ministry of Education, your teachers, your principals, your parents, all believe in your ability to learn, to grow, and to lead. And this initiative is designed to give you the technology and the resources to do just that. And so I charge you to use these devices with purpose, with discipline, and with determination. Explore every lesson, every ebook, every digital resource, and push yourselves to excel. Push yourselves to excel. Let those tools strengthen your knowledge, sharpen your skills, and ignite your creativity. Remember, there is greatness in all of us. And so this technology is your chance to discover it, to develop it, and to show it to the world. Please treat your laptops, your ebooks, and the associated resources with utmost care and respect. And always follow the rules for using them. Your success is literally and figuratively in your hands and in your backpack. This is your moment. Seize it with purpose. Uphold the pride of your Grenadian heritage in all that you do. Let it fuel your ambition and drive you to reach the heights you never imagined. Embrace this opportunity with confidence and with unwavering determination. And know that through discipline, hard work, and commitment, and fun, that there are no limits to what you can achieve for yourselves, for your schools, and for this great country of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So students, go forth, learn boldly, and let your greatness shine. You should count on yourselves. Your parents are counting on you. Your friends, your community, your teachers, your principals are all counting on you. And so in essence, Grenada is counting on you. You are part of history because you are the first group of students to be receiving and benefiting from this initiative of the government of Grenada. And therefore, I hope that you would appreciate and record, when you look back 10, 15, 20 years ago, the significant difference that this simple ceremony would have had in transforming your educational journey. Thank you very much, and have a great morning, everyone.
Yes, folks, this is big. You have $9.2 million spent. That's taxpayers' dollars. It's not a gift, as our beloved Prime Minister said. It's an investment in the young people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. 3,875 laptops and ebooks. Wow. All Forms 1, all Forms 2, they will be using just that. And I love when he said the teachers, too, need to upgrade. They need to retrain or receive training because it's smart classrooms now. I was speaking to a good friend and brother, Kenneth Ned, today, and he was speaking about how he and other former or past students of the St. John's Christian Secondary School, they're working hard to make all the classrooms smart. I think they were able to make 7 smart classrooms already. That means they're not using any blackboard and all this kind of stuff. All right, it's whiteboard. It's all the technology that goes with it. It's smart classrooms. So I'm saying all the classrooms have to become smart because our students, our children, they are smart. my kids, they live on their tablet, right? In fact, uh, this morning when they left for school, I hid the two tablets, hide it somewhere. So when they came back, I said, well, you know, you have to use the paper and the pen. Do you have homework? If you don't have homework, go and revise what you did before. And I said to Zoe, you have to learn to write your name and to put your numbers on the paper, right? And spell your full name, Zoe Jones, and count from 1 to 20, because you know how to count from 1 to 10, and do it on the paper and write. And you understand, going back to basic. But they can navigate the tablet nicely. They can go on YouTube, they can go there, they can go at, they know it all. So they're smart. So I'm happy to see the direction that the government is going with education and with our students. This is a significant investment. The NNP tried something during their time with, I think it's tablets. Was it tablets or laptops? What they gave? I can't remember. But there was an issue with when there's some problem with the device, to fix it, to repair it. The source where they got the device and so on from, they couldn't go to the real source because it's like a kind of bootleg. It's like the middleman thing, and it was not insured. It was not this, a whole pile of problems. So some schools got some didn't, and that kind of thing. But to repair them was a problem. I think it was tablets, right? Tablet computers, right? Tablets. But to repair them is a problem. So it was not an established brand like Dell, or I think there's Toshiba or Apple, or it's not the established brands that NNP used with the tablets. They were a kind of bootleg thing, and they didn't last. If you speak to schools, they no longer use these kind of things. It just didn't work. It was just like a gimmick. It was not well planned out. But this time around, the government went to the source. So you realize that the devices, they're Dell devices. They have the parts, they have spare parts, they have people who can repair them, that kind of thing. That is good. That is really, really good. So I want to commend the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team. And you can see that they're not whooping. They're planning. They're planning this thing right. And I want to applaud them for that. And they're focused on people, developing people, bettering the living standard and condition of people, from the young to the not so young, to the middle age, to the old, to the not so old. They're focused on the development of people. And you can just look at it. Free tuition for all the students at TAMCC, all the students at NULO, or all the young people at TAMCC, and all the young people at NULO. Not discriminating, not segregating, not, picking and choose who should get or who shouldn't get. All the students. The free hot meal program for all the students. 13,000 students being fed every day. The free textbook program, all the students. Then you look now at the laptop and ebook program. All forms 1, all forms 2. That's where they're starting it. And then they move next year into forms 3, 4. That's the way to go. And then eventually it will end up. So those who are in forms 1 and 2, they will be in forms 3 and 4 next year. All right. So they go up with that. And then those in forms 1 and 2 who coming in will get new laptops and ebooks. And then those in form 3 will be from 5. So then it goes up within a 2-year, 3-year period, which is excellent. Fantastic. So you look at the different programs. You have the bathroom and toilet wash initiative. They're not looking at who's NNP and who's NDC. Once you have a pit latrine, open bathroom and pit latrine, you will get someday a modern bathroom and toilet facility. That's a government giving you your dignity back, giving you your humanity back. And that's how they operate in. And I love that. The pensions were paid to everybody who had to get their pension. They did not look at NNP or NDC. The pay and grade for police officers, all police officers. The nurses, $500 more in their salary, all nurses. The doctors, $1,000 more in their salary, all the doctors. That is a government that cares about people. That is a government that cares about people. And I really love that. The minimum wage adjustment, they identify the people, the security officers, the bus conductors, the housekeepers, the clerks, the geriatric caregivers, the simple people, the gardener, the simple people. But everyone who fell in those categories, they got their salaries increased. So the government is at work, and this government cares about people. That's important. You see that they're building a lot of roads, a lot of drains. I was going down the what you call that, Parade, Laborie, off Laborie, down to the Parade area, fixing the drains on the side of the road. I mean, these things should have been done long time ago. When you construct a road, you have a drain because the water has to find some way to go when it falls on the road. But the government is working assiduously so, and we have to commend them, we have to applaud them. Lastly, folks, well, this guy, Tafawa Pay, some people say he's smart, but I will say he's not. He's not smart. So I listened to the interview he gave with Jenny Simon, and I had to laugh a bit because if you listen to this, just listen for a moment.
Public Service Commission to uphold their responsibility. If you listen to these people, they pretty much sung with as some arm of the NDC. They didn't care about my rights or what they should rightly say to me. They agreed that it was impossible for me to be a senior police officer and to be part of the national security and to be the husband of someone who is involved at that level of politics. I mean, a woman that I am extremely proud of. I'm telling you, it's one of the days when I felt I was in a place where I couldn't defend myself because I did nothing wrong. And the story was about Emmeline Payne. And I can do nothing about that. And that argument continued for as long as I could think about. Eventually, I said to them, look, if you guys want me to leave, pay me my benefits. And I was referring to, my additional 8 or 13 years that they're actually robbing me from.
Right. So nobody forced this guy out. All right. He didn't resign. He was not fired. He took his retirement. He retired. And he got his package and he accepted his package. It's simple like that. So you got your package, feel happy, and go home and rest yourself or find another work. Simple like that. You're 52. You could still work. You could forget about always being in the spotlight with your wife. You could forget about that. And, if there's meetings and so on, you could be there with her and nothing wrong with that. But generally, you could find something to do now. You'll get your nice pension and your other little things like that. Enjoy it. Stop going out there and make yourself a bloody fool. Because if you were going to take this matter to court, you would shut your mouth. You would not come out there and say these things.
Eventually, the St. Bernard chairman said noted, and they seemed relieved that I agreed to leave.
And the mere fact that this guy went into a meeting with the Public Service Commission and can come out in the public. Remember, this guy was a senior police officer, and he can come out in the public and say all of these things about what was discussed in this meeting. It says a lot about him as an individual and whether he's professional or not, whether he, is confidential, whether it says a lot of question marks over his head that he can come out there and just speak about a meeting that you had with the Public Service Commission and who said what and what was said here. And I mean, it sends a bad message. Bad message. And it kind of saying that the Public Service Commission was right in what they did.
And that I now should engage the Ministry of National Security. Listen, the same person who is kneeling on my neck, who is the Prime Minister, I have to now engage his ministry to speak about my benefits.
And mind you, what is sad, this guy would drag in our beloved Prime Minister in all of this, but he has never gotten the opportunity to speak to the Prime Minister, to engage the Prime Minister, to have a meeting, nothing. So he's there throwing out all of these stupidness, and some of the NNP folks believe that what he's saying is true, but there's no facts to back up.
So you have to know how that will turn out. I had no hope. I had some discussions with the PS there, and long and short, what I got was minuscule in comparison to my 8 years of lost employment, so to speak. And who do you speak to when you're railroaded and you trample upon like that? You can't get to the Prime Minister. You can't speak to the Public Service Commission, who the constitutional organ, which is supposed to look after my well-being.
Right, so you can't speak to the Prime Minister. You never had a meeting with the man. You don't. But why do you drag him into all of this and kicking this whole political football, in my belief, out there? It's just stupid.
Employee, can't speak to them. I can't speak to the Prime Minister. What do I do? Right? I'm cornered. And so once you say that you have no confidence in me as a senior police officer, I'm finished. Because I become persona non grata. I become a risk. I can't stay in the institution, in the organization. So I was obviously separated at that time, once that was said to me, and I knew I had to leave, whatever the circumstances may be.
Right. So you left. You retire. You left the service. Well, retire with some dignity, but no, you're out in the public talking all this nonsense. Come on.
So I just took what I got, and we'll see how the court feels about that.
See how the court feels about what? You got your package, you retire, and mind you, folks, you have to understand, if you're a public officer and you're retiring, you have to submit a letter to the Public Service Commission. You have to do a letter. You have to sign to it. It's not the public service doing a letter for you. You have to do it. So all this talk, it's not like he refused. If you refuse to resign, to retire, then it's something different. But he didn't refuse. You retire. You retire after 34 years of service. So why are you coming out in the public and acting like a little child like that? What, you're looking for sympathy? What you're really looking for? You see, the Gemma Bain Thomas issue was different. During the NNP time, they removed her as cabinet secretary and they placed her in a lesser position within the public service. She took them to court and she won. And she had to win. But even when the court ruled in her favor and they have to compensate her, the NNP administration refused to do so. And then in the situation with William Thompson, former commissioner of police, his transfer was done improperly. It was an improper transfer. So he won them too. So they had to compensate him under the NNP time. Because you see, you could transfer a commissioner of police or a police officer. You can do that. Once you're inspector and up, you're a public servant. But you must be transferred along the same grade. Same grade. That was not done with Jeremy Bain Thomas. William Thomason, they could have transferred him, but it was improperly done. And then we saw when they transferred Smith Roberts, ACP Smith Roberts, they transferred Dowling Bartholomew, ACP Dowling Bartholomew. They transferred Superintendent Domba Belfon. They transferred Superintendent Godfrey Fleming. They transferred a whole pile of them to ministerial duties. So during the NNP time, they never respected senior police officers. They treated them like dirt. I'm telling you, the evidence is there to prove. And if you were not towing their line, the NNP line, during that period, you would be transferred and you would be treated differently. So police officers, they know. So this guy coming out there and talking all this nonsense, it's just a big joke. It's a big laugh. It's a big laugh. But people already see through the individual. They already see through the individual. Because they realize that he's not better than his wife. They're both on the same page. Because I found him to be disingenuous in his utterances. But you hear some of the NNP pundits saying all kinds of stuff, that he was fired, that he was victimized, that he was this, and no, the man retired. There is a difference between retirement, resignation, or firing. If you fire a person, the person did something wrong. So you fire them. They break some rule, they violate something, they did something wrong. If a person resigns, they can do so voluntarily, or they can be asked to do so with certain conditions. But when you retire, it means that you didn't do anything wrong, the other party didn't do anything wrong. You retire, you served, and you exit, but you must do so honorably. But you are now on platforms, doing interviews, saying all of these things. What do you get from it? So every police officer who retires needs to go on these platforms and say all kind of stuff about what meeting you've been to, what was discussed, and all these different things. Public Service Commission thing. I mean, it's like, what is this? So are you now making me believe that you couldn't be trusted at that level based on your utterances, based on what you said after that meeting with the Public Service Commission? Are you trying to give me that belief or make me believe that? So you see, sometimes you have to be very careful. Be very, very careful. You served 34 years, retire with grace, exit. And don't try to drag our beloved Prime Minister into all of this. Because really and truly, you never met the man. He never engaged you. You don't even know. All you do is opinionate because you want people to believe that he was involved. That's what you want. But we know that he wasn't involved. The Public Service Commission dealt with you. and you, when I say dealt with you, they engaged you. You accepted the offer, and you exit. You left graciously now. Leave graciously, leave honorably. That's what it is. So as you go into the interview and you open it out, you realize that this guy spoke a lot of tata. And if you listen carefully, you realize he might do more damage than good to himself if the matter do go to court, because he's claiming that he didn't get the rightful amount in compensation. Let's see how it goes. Because I think his argument is like, you're supposed to pay me for 8 years because I'm 52. And I have 8 years to go. But you can retire at 50. You can retire at 55. You can retire after 26 years and 8 months. So who is fooling who? And the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service Commission, they would make sure that they give you your right amount. So you're duly compensated. So why are you out in the public making yourself a bloody lunatic like that? You know, it's just extremely sad. Folks, I want to encourage you to remain focused as we draw closer to the election. You'll get more of that.
Get ready for a night of celebration. The NDC New York chapter proudly invites you to our party's 38th anniversary and awards reception. Happening October 18th at 7:30 p.m. right here at Our Lady of Miracles Parish Center, 757 East 86th Street, between Flatlands Avenue and Glenwood Road in Brooklyn. Dress to impress and join us as we honor our legacy and empower our future with special guest of honor, Honorable Kerryn James, MP for St. John. Tickets are $150 all inclusive. Get your early bird discount for just $125 before September 19th. Visit ndcnewyorkchapter.com or call 347-729-5770 for more information. Celebrate Grenada's excellence. Secure your ticket now for the NDC New York chapter's 38th anniversary and award reception. Be part of an unforgettable night of elegance and class. Don't miss the party of the year. See you there.
Yes, so that is on October the 18th. October the 18th, 7:30 p.m. Dress code elegant. All right, the Honorable Kerryn James will be in attendance. So get your tickets. All right, get your tickets today. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night, rest, and I will be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, starting from 8 in the AM. Boy, oh boy, I tell you, it's what it is. You have to keep moving forward on that journey, empowering, educating, enlightening. And I say to folks, don't believe it's easy. Don't believe it's a walk in the park. Some people believe, man, Kevin Jones waking up in the morning, he go in front of the mic and he talking, or Kevin Jones come during the nighttime, go in front of the mic and no. That is why you don't have many people doing what I am doing. I challenge you. That's why. It's not easy.